Lately, I've seen a lot of people questioning why Bruno Mars, Rosé, Sexy Red, and Lady Gaga were involved in this recent collaboration. For some reason, there's a particular level of confusion surrounding Bruno Mars and Rosé, with people acting like this is wildly out of character for them. But honestly, let's take a step back and think about this for a second. Is it really that strange? Because from where I'm standing, it's not. Let's start with Bruno Mars. The way some people are reacting, you'd think he's been making nothing but family-friendly music his whole career. But let's be real, this man has been writing suggestive and outright explicit songs for years. Locked Out of Heaven isn't just about some abstract, poetic idea of love, it's literally about a woman's body. Then there's Versace on the Floor, which is pretty self-explanatory. This is not new territory for him. As for Rosé, the surprise seems to stem from the fact that she's a K-pop idol, and people still hold on to this outdated idea that K-pop artists are supposed to maintain some ultra-clean, reserved image. But we've seen the industry shift, especially with third and fourth gen idols exploring more mature concepts. Just because Rosé is known for her soft, sentimental solo work doesn't mean she's incapable of stepping into a different creative space. People act as if she's never been in a suggestive setting before, but K-pop choreography and performances have always played with sensuality, even in subtle ways. Now, I'll be honest, I haven't listened to the song, and I don't think I will. It's just not on my radar right now. But the conversation surrounding it is what's really interesting to me. The fact that people are genuinely sitting there saying, this is weird for Bruno and Rosé, makes me wonder if we're listening to the same artists. What exactly is so shocking? Is it the collaboration itself? The lyrics? The visuals? Because if we break it down, neither of these artists stepping into something provocative should come as a surprise. At the end of the day, this just feels like selective outrage. If you don't like the song, that's fine, but acting like this is some strange, unprecedented move for Bruno or Ross doesn't make much sense. Artists experiment, push boundaries, and explore different sounds all the time. It's part of the industry, and if people are still expecting K-pop idols to remain in some imaginary, PG-rated box, they might want to reevaluate where the genre has been headed for years now. I know this happened back in November, but listen, I feel like I have every right to talk about it. iKon absolutely shattered my heart, and I'm sure I'm not the only one still trying to recover. I won't go into spoilers, just in case some of you are still, grieving and processing everything that happened. But if you've seen it, you know the emotional toll it takes. That show doesn't just tell a story, it wrecks you. And honestly, that's exactly why I think Stray Kids' involvement in the soundtrack was such a perfect move. Now, I don't know if you'd technically call it a collab in the usual sense, but I'm just going to go ahead and say it was. They created a song that became part of iKon's world, and that in itself is huge. Whether you consider it a full collaboration or just an artistic contribution, the fact remains, Stray Kids and iKon coming together was bound to be legendary. The two already have such strong, passionate fan bases, and they both bring a level of intensity and artistry that just fits together so well. And let's be real, iKon is iconic. The animation, the storytelling, the absolute pain it inflicts upon its viewers, it's next level. Stray Kids, on the other hand, have built their own legacy in K-pop with their unique sound, powerful performances, and emotionally charged music. So when you mix the two, you get something even more iconic. It's like a match made in artistic heaven. There's this raw, emotional energy that both iKon and Stray Kids tap into, and that's why their music fits seamlessly into the show's atmosphere. Even without knowing the specifics of how the collaboration came to be, it's clear that the song wasn't just randomly thrown in. It adds to the iKon experience, elevating the emotions of the show even further. And that's something Stray Kids have always excelled at, creating music that feels like something. They don't just make songs, they build entire worlds of sound, much like iKon builds its world through animation. At the end of the day, this crossover just makes sense. Both iKon and Stray Kids have this almost rebellious, defiant energy, pushing against expectations, telling stories in a way that sticks with you long after you've experienced them. So if you ask me, this wasn't just a cool addition to the soundtrack, it was a moment where two powerful forces in entertainment came together to make something unforgettable. I can yap about iKon all day. I think it's confession time. When I first started this channel, I actually considered dissing my favorite artists just to fit in with the common narrative. Playing along with whatever was trending, even if it meant going against my own opinions. Obviously, I didn't do that, thankfully, but looking back. A little intermission here, but I think I started my channel, not posted, but started my channel when there was discourse about Han being racist when he was like 13, and when I was going to make a video about it, I was definitely thinking and considering throwing him under the bus. Thankfully I didn't. I realize how easy it is to fall into that trap. There's so much pressure to have the right opinions in certain spaces, especially when it comes to music. It's wild how people will turn on artists they actually like just to be part of whatever's popular at the moment. I think what's really frustrating is when people feel like they have to change their music taste just because a certain genre or artist is being criticized by more than, like, two people. It's weird how easily people will drop something they genuinely enjoy just because it's not considered cool anymore. And the funny thing is, I don't even know what genre I truly like. My music taste is everywhere. I listen to a lot of J-pop, and right now, I have a favorite J-pop song that I've been playing on repeat, but ask me to define my taste, and I'd probably just stare at you, confused. One day, I'm deep into rock, the next, I'm vibing to something electronic, and before you know it, I'm listening to something completely unexpected. I don't think I have a set genre, and honestly, I like it that way. Recently, I even started listening to Spanish music not because I suddenly decided to explore it on my own, but because of my Spanish class. That class starts at 8 a.m. first period. It's way too early for my brain to be functioning, but somehow, I've ended up adding some of the songs we hear in class to my playlist, and that just proves my point. Your music taste doesn't have to be boxed in. It doesn't have to be dictated by trends or other people's opinions. Sometimes it just finds you. At the end of the day, music is supposed to be about what you enjoy. If you like something, you like it, no explanation needed. So, if I want to keep talking about Stray Kids or randomly get into a new genre because of my school schedule, I'm going to do just that, and I think that's how it should be for everyone.